everyone, welcome to another craft along with myself, Sheila. We seem to do so many craft alongs. Just love doing craft alongs. It's really nice to be able to just have an hour of crafting along with you, or to just craft along, show you something, then you can recreate it yourself later on. So today we're going to be using the beautiful Sara's Signature Antique Lace Collection. We're going to be using the 12x12 papers, the 6x6 papers, and a few more things. But I'm going to give you the list, and then you will know exactly what you will need if you want to recreate our little wall plaque that we've got here. So you will need, first of all, your antique lace collection. Now, you're not going to need everything, but if I'd listed it, what I'd used, it would have taken me forever. So I'll tell you as we're going along, and then if you've got those, you can grab them. And then we've also incorporated the Midnight Floral stamp set for the sentiment. You'll need some A4 cream pearlescent cardstock. If you've not got pearlescent, just cream will do. I'm going to be using the 48 watercolour paint palette, some white pigment ink, white embossing powder, a Fryer Brown water reactive ink pad, pearl drops using the beautiful pearl tones. And if you've got, and I know you will have, because everybody has deliveries all the time, I'm going to be using just a piece of cardboard box from some packaging that came through the door, just to make the plaque nice and light for you to either post it out or to put it on a wall or stand it up, whatever you want to do. And then the additional items you'll need, I'm going to be using the Gemini 2 and the Gemini Mini as well. I'm going to use both of them. Guillotine or trimmer. You'll need your hot glue gun for the flowers, heat tool for our heat embossing, scissors, poker tool and tweezers, a water brush or a paint brush, blending tool, tacky glue, foam pads, foam in a roll, red tape or glue tape runner, whatever you prefer. So that's one heck of a big list, and I did try and squeeze it down a bit, but you know what it's like when you're crafting, you grab something else and you grab something else. And I'm sure there'll be something on the table that I've not listed or that I need to grab. So, but we'll do that as we go along. So what I thought we'd do originally, if I bring this in and show you, what I was planning to do was like a bit of a vintage style journal, using the front, like making a front and a back, and then obviously making pages inside. But obviously, because we've only got an hour to do it, that would have probably taken maybe 2 hours or more. But it doesn't mean that you can't incorporate this as the front of a journal and do a back in a similar way. So you'll notice as well, it's really, really light. It's very soft. And that's because I've used the cardboard packaging. So a little bit of recycling has gone into this as well, or upcycling as we like to say. But I'll explain that as we go along. So let's show you how to make a start on this. So I've got a piece of, and it's just a piece of the corrugated card that you get, you know, with all your parcel deliveries, and you know, it's so much of it goes into our recycling bin. But I was like, right, I need some boxes. I need to keep a few back that we can use. So this measures, I think it measures 7 by 9 inches. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take a piece of the 12 by 12 cardstock. Now, I've already got one covered, so I can make it identically to this one that I'm showing you here. But I've just grabbed another piece of cardstock just to show you how we do it, and then I'll bring that in. Now, I've just realised I don't think I even put craft card on there, did I, on the list? Craft card goes really well with this. So what I'm going to do is going to turn the sheet over and put my piece of card on there as well. Okay, so we'll put that, in fact, we'll put it that side down because it's going to be covered anyway. And what I've done is kind of laid it roughly in the middle, and then I've folded in the edges. So there's no measurements for this. So I've just done it like that. A bit like, I'm thinking a bit like when we used to go in our butcher's shop, the butcher used to do this when he was putting like the meat in packages. He would do that, and then he'd bring this over and this over and this over, and then he'd put some tape on it, and that was it. So it's a bit similar to doing that, really. So we're going to turn it around and do exactly the same with this. And I think because we are using like cardboard here, you never get like a really straight edge. So to score your card or your paper that you're covering it with, it will be quite hard. So it's easier to do it this way. And I think because it's quite soft as well, which was how I wanted it to be, it means that you get kind of a softer edge. It's not scored because it's thick. So it's good to fold it like that. So now you've got your folds in, what we can do now is we can add a bit of glue. And I'm going to get the tacky glue to use straight from the bottle for this because it'll make it a little bit quicker. If I'm attaching paper to cardstock or something like this, what I normally do is I put some tacky glue on, and then if I've got, well, I have got glue spatulas at home, the ones that we used to use in school when we were children, just the little plasticky ones, and I usually do a good coating of the glue on here, and then I spread it right to the edge with the, it doesn't want to come out this morning, let me get that little bit of dry glue off the end. We like to spread it out to the edges. Okay, I'm going to grab another one. That one's been a bit lazy this morning. Let's grab this one. We've got loads of it here, so I feel more confident with this one. It feels like, oh, there we go. So what we can do then, so I'm just going to put it on like that. But if you have got a spatula, it's always good to make sure you spread it right to the edges so that it grabs the paper and it keeps hold of it really well. But this will still work, going right down to the edge there, just to make sure it's gonna bond and grab that paper. There we go. So we can pop that on now, like that, and then we'll bring the edges in here. So what you need to do once you've done that and give it a good press down so it kind of sits where we wanted it to be, you can just slide along there as well. What we're going to do now is I want to create like a kind of angled corner. So if we bring this in here, a bit like if you're wrapping a present, when you do the corners, don't pull it too tight because we don't want it to pull this corner up. So it doesn't have to be right on the corner as such. And then we'll just give that a little press, and then we're going to attach that with the tacky glue as well there. So you just need to put a bit of the glue on like that, and then we can press that down like that. And we're going to do that with all four corners. Now, if you feel like it's going to lift up, you can always pop like I'll pop that bottle of glue on there. I very often use like a punch or something, and sometimes I'm quite naughty and I'll just rest my phone on there, but then it ends up full of glue, so it's not a great idea. But you just need something with a little bit of weight just to pop that on there and just to grab it for a moment. Okay, so, and then we do the same on all the corners. And then you don't need to worry about it looking untidy or the glue splodging out or anything, because what we're then going to do is we're going to put that piece of craft card on the top, and I'll show you that when I bring in the other piece that I already have done. Okay, and then we'll turn that round so it doesn't take long for it to bond. We'll pop that one on there, and then again we'll do the same here. So bring it to the corner like that. This is a beautiful collection. This paper is just absolutely glorious. There's so much detail on it. And if you are a lover of vintage or anything kind of steampunky or oldie worldy, this is going to be right up your street if you've not already got it. It's really, really lovely paper. Okay, so we'll give that a press down. We can probably pop that one on there now, and then we'll do this one. I need to do that the same way, sorry. I nearly missed doing that then, and then again. So when we fold these bits over then and glue these down, you will then see that you've got these slightly angled corners. And I think another reason for doing this as well is, you know, if I change the colours in the room or anything, or I bring a different cushion in or something, I like to have a little canvas or something that matches that. And I've done a couple of canvases with paint and stuff, and just slot paint on there, and we've had them up in the house when we had like a red sofa and stuff. So yeah, I like to change things around. But because we live in a rented house, we're not allowed to kind of drill through the wall and hang like a heavy picture up. So something like this, it's kind of an inexpensive way of making yourself something that matches your decor, and we're all right, we're allowed to put like a little tiny tack in the wall to hang something light on it. So this is something that could be then hung up on your wall, and it would be nice and light, obviously. So it would work to, you know, if you were in rented accommodation but you just wanted to pop things up on the wall. It's quite a nice thing. But again, it sits nicely on a stand. You could put a calendar tab on the bottom, whatever you want to. There's lots of different things you can do with it. And the fact that we're using the cardboard from the box, I feel we're doing something good there as well. We're not, you know, throwing it away. We're putting it to good use with all our beautiful products that we've bought. There we go. So you're just doing a good fold there, and then again some tacky glue, like that. And then press that down. Again, tacky glue will hold. If you want to use your tape, you can. Your red tape or even your glue tape runners, you can do that too. But you know me, I'm a bit of a tacky glue-aholic. So I love doing things with tacky glue. I love using it for all kinds of things. So you see, when I turn those in now, we've got these nice angled corners here, which I quite like. Give that a good press, because we've not scored it, obviously. And if you put some glue in your fold as well there, that will grab the paper against the cardboard box piece, like that. I'll give that a press, down like that. And then, same with this one. Oh, that one's popped up. Let's pop that bottle on there. Maybe an ink pad as well. Just gives it a little bit of weight for a minute. You know, you put your scissors on there, whatever you've got to hand. I usually pop my punches on there, like I said. That's usually quite a good thing to do. And then we pull that over there, like that. So again, we've got the angled corners. And then our last bit of glue on here. And so again, you could make a journal with this. This could be your front cover. You could do a back cover the same. And then I was thinking if you could probably use your 12 by 12 papers, so maybe get one of each out of the pad and fold them down the middle, so you've got some 6 by 6 panels, and then put those together, so tape them together, glue them together, and put those inside. So it could be a journal that you would pick pictures in, or you might take it on holiday, and it would be light as well. So if you took it on holiday, it wouldn't weigh much in your bag like a regular journal would. So you can see now we've got these like 4 little angled corners, which are quite nice. And that feels, back in the 80s, a lot of you might remember this, when we used to have like padded birthday cards. I think I've still got a load in the loft somewhere. You know, when you get it and go, oh, he must really love you because he's got you a padded card. When you opened it, at the front of it, it's like squashy, like a cushion. So you kind of get that feel with this. It's quite spongy. But again, it's great because it's so light as well. You know, you can be using it for all kinds of things. So what I've done now, if I bring this one in, this is the one I did originally, and this matches my original one. So it's the same paper. I took both sheets out and I've used it. So the butterfly is on here, and we've got these like kind of what look like gems down here. So I'm going to use this one, but what I will do, I'll just show you the back as well, because all we've done now is I've got a piece of craft card which measures 6 by 8, I think. Yeah, 6 by 8. And that just sits nicely on there. Little bit of ink around the edge, the Fryer Brown ink, and that gives you that nice secureness, and that will hold, I don't even think that's a word, secureness, but that will actually hold that on there as well and give it a bit more, you know, rigidity, if you like. And if you were going to do it as a journal, you could be then stamping some words on here, or making your list, or putting your index themes on there. So and again, it feels like that padded card. So if I bring in the original again now, and we'll have a look at what we need to do first of all. So the first thing is, I've already done some ink around the edge here, but we can probably put more on as we go along. So you'll see we've got a bit of a mixture. We've got a lot of the papers on. We've got some dies. We've done a bit of stamping. We've done a bit of kind of concertina folding, a bit of tearing. We've got the ink in, and then we've added some splats with the white paint from the watercolour palette. And then as well, we've put just about 4 pearls on using the pearl drops, and I've kept those at the top half. So I did look at putting them down here, but we're kind of keeping focused on that area, if you like. So what we're going to do first of all, I'm going to bring in some of the lace, and we're going to put a piece of the lace across the bottom. Now what I did do as well with the lace, I actually kind of crumpled it up as well, because I thought, do I want it to be a little bit more kind of, you know, like have more texture. But when I tried it, I felt because I got the concertina bit and this bit as well, it was a bit too much, hence me leaving that nice and flat on there. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut a piece to the right length. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go off where my scallops are. So I don't want it to look uneven because I'm a bit particular about that. So I'm going to cut it. Let's have a look. So we've got a big one, two small, big one, and then a tiny one. What I will do, I'm going to cut it off here. So these two are kind of about similar size. So we can just cut up there like that. And we can cut up this one as well. So it just makes it straight on the edge. If you don't want it to fray, and it probably wouldn't fray really, because it's just sat on here, but you can always add a little bit of tacky glue just along the edge on your finger. Just pop it on and let it dry. It goes not ridiculously hard, but it does go a little bit firmer, and it'll stop it fraying. So you can do that if you're doing like lace or fabric in papercraft and stuff. So what we'll do, we're going to get, I think I'll go with my thicker tape. Now my thicker tape is the one from the adhesive pack that we have. So let's have a look where we need to level it up to. And I'm just going to put that along there and then stick the lace to that, and that will hold it. So let's go right along there like that, and then just cut that, and then the lace can go on there like this. So let's lift that up there, pop that on. And you know what you can do as well? You can actually put some ink on the edge of the lace if you want to. So you make it look like it's something that you've maybe found in your, like in your grandmother's, you know, closet or something, or in a collection of a clothing and stuff like that. You might find some old vintagey bits. And it's also quite nice as well, if you've got some like vintage lace, or you know, it's some older lace and you've just come across it and you're not bothered about keeping it nice, you can ink through it as well. That gives you a really nice kind of effect. As well, using your inks. So I'm just going to lift that up a little bit, and this is a good thing. I can do that because I'm on the red tape. Because I'm looking on the camera now, I could see that it wasn't as straight as I wanted it to be, and I still feel like it's not quite straight. It's weird because looking at it from here, it looks like it's going up, but then on the camera it looks like it's going down a bit. So I might just juggle that a little bit. It's not the end of the world. We don't want it to look like totally. Yeah. That looks probably, does that look straight to you? Ish? Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to get a piece out of the pad that's got this design on. So turn it that way. So you've got this lace, and you've got the lace here, and you've got all these lovely colours as well. But on the back, it's got the stripes. So I kind of used this to my advantage, because what I did was I cut along here first. So I cut along here and keeping like a little bit of paper above there, where all those like gems are, the faux gems that we can see on there, little crystals. And then what I did was, and I'm going to do this with, no, I will do it with my, let me get my medium-sized scissors, because I quite like doing the fussy cutting with these. And again, you could fussy cut this. This is really nice. You could put that underneath your real lace as well. So again, it gives it another kind of, you know, puts another twist on it, if you like. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to just cut this lace out just with my scissors. And I'm not too worried about it not being perfect, because that's how it is on the picture and on the print. And then also what we'll do, we'll add a little bit of ink to it too. So it just makes it look a little bit more worn. I love this sheet. It's really nice. I love the fact it's got like a bit of a greeny tinge to it as well. So it's quite nice. Now, if you want to, you can either cut it to the size of your panel that you're working on, or you can cut the whole strip out and then just trim the end off. That's what I did. But of course, I might not need to on this, because then it'll mean I can keep the rest of the sheet intact. So let's have a look. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll go a little bit off the end there, pop that to one side for a minute, and then we can see then, I need to neaten that up a little bit there. that we can lay it on. So we're just about going to get the 4 little lacy bits that hang. So again, with that, we can cut it, because we're going to pop that onto some foam on a roll, just to lift that up after we've done the pleated bit, which is the next thing we'll do. Okay. And then I might neaten that up as well, just with my scissors there. I feel like it's just got a little bit of a... You can cut it on your guillotine if you want to, but I'm quite happy to do it with my scissors. And what we'll do before we forget, we'll put a little bit of ink on there. And just go down the side. So just putting it on, I'm not bringing it in like from the mat, I'm just popping it on the edge like that, so we can still see that brown inky effects. And then we'll pop that to one side, because the next thing we need to do is we need to do that kind of pleated section. So let's pop that there for a second. So the pleated section is actually on the back of here. Now what I've done is I've just torn a strip. So we can just go, we'll go about there, I think, and we'll just tear it like that. Again, not being particular as such, just tearing it, and I'll go all the way with that, because then I can use that other strip maybe on a 12 by 12 scrapbook page, something like that. So we've got this. So then I use this to my advantage, because it's got the stripes on. I thought, what if we pleat it every 2 stripes? So if we, and I'm not scoring it, just doing it like I would if I was making a, you know, something like when we used to make a fan at school when it was hot, just to waft ourselves with. So I'm just doing like some simple pleating every 2 stripes. So you're going to get some that might be a bit thicker or not quite as neat, but that's fine. It just gives another texture, but this time from paper. And if you try and stick to the stripes, the 2, one of them is slightly darker and then the other stripe is slightly lighter, so you get a bit of light and shade on there as well. So fold that one, and then that one there is a little bit thicker, that stripe, so we can just go along there. And we don't need to do the whole, we're not going to use the whole strip, but I will probably pleat the whole strip. Like that. So this is nice and easy to do. And then let's see. Okay, so I can just do a little bit of a measurement there now. And when you then press that together like that, you can see we need to do a little bit more, because you might want the pleats really close, you might want them more spread out. So I'm going to do just a few more. So we need to do a mountain and a valley fold. That's the best way to describe it, isn't it? Where you've got the like the peaks and the troughs. So that one, and that one, there, and that one, and then that one. So it's kind of worked out just nicely in the size. Now I'm not inking the edge of that, because I want to leave that white on there to tie in with all the other white kind of areas on here, whitey creamy ivory. So now when I stuck this on, I actually did this with glue just on the sides. I couldn't quite remember then how I'd done it. So what I did was I made sure I had a flat piece there and a flat piece at the other end. Chop that bit off, put some glue on there, or you can do some red tape. Let's just do some red tape on there, because it's probably a good thickness for that. So we'll do that instead of the glue. But either will work. And we'll just snip that off there like that. Okay, and then we will just decide before we stick that down how like raised we want it. So I think what I need to do, I need to make sure that I go with a flat bit on there. So let's go with, let's have a look with, I think I might go with that one there. I'm going to cut those 2 off at the end, like that. And then, Liam is in my ear today. He's very quiet though today. Oh, are you? Multitasking. He's producing and recording, and he's actually vision mixing, and he's doing other things as well. So he's quite a genius in his own right, to be honest. He does He works miracles. Are you? Okay, so let's go with that on there. And then this one on this end, like that. So we don't need it to be kind of, let's have a look, I'm just looking on that there, how, so it's giving an illusion because of the shadow as well on there, but that's just going to sit like that. I'm not going to add anything else. It's on at the end, so it's not going to go anywhere. If you did want to pop a bit of glue on one of the pleats, you could, but I quite like that. I've not done that with that. I've just left it as it is, so it's kind of open really. And it gives a bit of shadow as well. Okay, so the next thing we can do now is we can bring in our piece here that we had before. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to put this on some foam on a roll, so that will then just sit there. That's why I left a gap there. So if I just grab foam on a roll, and we'll pop that just along the top there, like that, and then chop that, and that can then go there, like that. So take that off there, and this one off here, and pop that over the top. And then we can just pop that on, like that, press it down over the top of that. I'm going to just move that up a little bit so it will sit above there. Let me just lift that up. I can see where I'm sticking it. We're just going to pop that bit of tape down there so we can't see it. And that will just sit over the top of there, like that. So it gives us some kind of, oh, I've just got another person in my ear now. I was like, I could, so Liam has disappeared, and now we've got Jamie. I heard that lovely, gentle voice. Thank you, Jamie. That's very kind of you. So if you feel like that's a little bit too prominent, what you can do is you can add, and I'll do that just so that you can see, you can add a little bit of like tacky glue on the tops of your, I'm not sure if this is the one that's not coming out, or this is the one. This is the one. Let me take that dry end off there. It's great how it just seals up and then it stops the whole thing drying up. So what we'll do, just pop a little bit of that there, like that. So it will just attach. I'm just going to do a little blob of glue on there as well under that foam, just so that it kind of sits on top like that, and that will hold on there, and that will hold on there like that. Okie dokie. And if you want to rest something on there while it just grabs, you can use your scissors. Okay, so we'll just pop that there. While that is just kind of grabbing, I'm just going to do a little bit of die cutting now. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring in the, I'll just reach over and grab that. So we're going to bring in some of the like creamy white pearlescent cardstock. And we're going to as well add let me just grab it out of here, one of the corners. So we've got this lovely ornate corner here from the pretty like envelope panel dies there. So we'll pop these on here and we can put these through together. So no, Dan, I knew there was something I hadn't got out. It was the tape, so we'll grab that. Thought I got it, but there's always something that you don't get. So let's use a bit of that. That will go on there. We can trim that, and then we can put that through the Gemini, and that will cut those for us. Then we can do the next little bit. So let's get this through the plates now. I'm going to get the magnetic shim, because we've got intricate dies here, and that will give it that little bit of oomph that it needs. Now then, where is the magnetic sheet? Just let me have a look. It was, we were using the matches today, and now it seems to have disappeared. So I'm going to just, can you see it? No, that's weird. I'm just going to, there's probably one in here. Yeah, there's one here I can just grab. We've got millions of the things, so we'll just get this one. There's two stuck together, obviously, the magnetic, so they just don't want to come apart. They don't want to leave each other. There we go. So that's the important bit now. We need to put the frosted, then the magnetic sheet, and then that one. I don't know where it's gone. It was here when we were using them yesterday. It'll turn up. I think somebody had a bit of a tidy up overnight, and then it's a bit, well, it's weird. Yeah, when I came in this morning, I mean, I left it tidy last night, but when I looked underneath, I was like, oh, it's really tidy. bless it, it's probably Liam this morning. I think he sleeps here, you know. I feel like he sleeps here and does all the tidying up. He's like a overnight pixie elf that does the clearing up. Well, it might be a ghost. Who knows? Who knows? So we've got our beautiful die cuts now, and these are just lovely. They are so, so nice and so delicate, but we'll still work on a nice big project like we're doing here. So we've got that one. So we'll pop that die back on there, and I'll clean that out after once I've finished using it. And then this one we will pop out, and again just comes out of the die so easily. Just be gentle because it's got some little thin edges here, but we've just got a couple of little pieces to pop out there. They're all cut beautifully. That's not bad for something so detailed. We've got like 6, I think there were 5 or 6 little pieces just that needed a little help to be pushed out, and they love hanging onto the back, don't they? Okay, so we'll move that to there, move that over there, and then we know where that is after. So the corner can now go on to the panel that we've just been decorating. So I'm going to put that up on there now. I'm going to use the fine glue here, the fine applicator, should I say, not the fine glue, the fine tipped applicator bottle, because this is perfect for this, getting to all those little nooks and crannies there, like that. And then what we'll do, you just don't realise the detail until in the die until you put in the glue on, because it's it looks like here we've got some tiny little pearls that go along that top edge there. Okay, so we're going to pop that there just above where that butterfly is sitting. So you can see all those tiny little pearls along the edges there, so pretty. We just pop that on there. And rather than using white card or cream card, I thought the pearlescent gave it a nice little touch. You know, you don't see it all the time, but when you see it in different lights, it picks it up. And so this one is going to go on the top, but we're going to do that once we've put our next little panel on. So let's put that to there. Let's pop the pin back in there, and then it doesn't dry up. And then we can do our next little bit. So the next little bit, we can use the, let me just grab my little, oh no, I'm going to grab my big pad again here, because what I want is a piece of the paper, a piece of the paper that's got possibly some script on. So like this one here would work. I've got my finger in there just in case I see this one there as well. The one with the coffee stains, I'm just going to see if there's one that's got some, that's a bit dark for what I want. So I'm probably going to go with the one that I've got here. In fact, why don't we use exactly that one that we've got on here, but from the 6x6 pad, because it's just going to be the same. The flowers will be a little bit smaller, and the text, I feel like it might be, I think it's that one actually, so that would work really nicely. So we're not having to go into a really big sheet. So that'll just give us a little point of difference on here as well. So let's do that. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to cut a piece to measure, I'll tell you what it measures, not that it really matters. It's 4 inches. So it's 4 inches in width. So basically, if we just go kind of about ½ an inch away from that little set of the pearls or gems that run down the side of it, and then lengthwise it's slightly longer. So in length it is, I think it's, oh actually that's really weird, it's actually a square. I think it's because I've scuffed it. I've scuffed the edges, and I think that's what's made it look a bit more rectangular. So let's do this now. So I'm going to take my scissors because my scuffing tool is in my tool bag, but I cannot see it. Sorry, Jamie. I forget Jamie doesn't like that. I'll be really quick with this because this is the only bit that we need to scuff. So I understand that people don't like this effect, or they don't like performing the actual technique. So we'll do it quickly, and then poor Jamie is not clenching his teeth and shuddering in his seat And do let your scissors fall in there. If you're doing it with your scuffing tool or your crimping tool, it won't fall into the gap and make the tears in it. Now, I like the tears, so if you do it with your scissors like that, that again makes it look a little bit more oldie-worldy, like that. Okay, thumbs up to Jamie there. Thank you, Jamie. I nearly forgot to say, and then you just said, oh, just a minute. Yeah, I said he's probably gritting his teeth now and his toes will be curling. I get it, yeah, lots of people don't like that like scraping noise, so yeah, I understand. We all have our little traits, don't we? Well, I have a few. I'm a bit odd, I think. I think we are all odd here in one way or another. That's why we all get on so well, because we're all a little bit weird. So what we're going to do now is, if we lift this up around the edge like this, that gives us that kind of, again, a bit more of a vintage look, like it's old and it's been in a drawer for a long time and it's got a bit crunched up and a bit crumpled, but that's what gives it that nice effect. So we're going to bring this in here now and pop that. So we're going to kind of tuck it just like that. Now you can probably just get it underneath there. If you want it to go a bit further down, you can just snip a bit off like that. Like that, and then you can tuck that under so you get that nice angled area like that. Okay, so we'll stick that down. Again, that is going to go down with tacky glue. So even though we're sticking a lot of things down flat, because of what we've done to the edge of them, it certainly does add texture, yeah. It does indeed. And it gives a really kind of unusual effect as well. Okay, so we're going to do that. Isn't it? It's a perfect collection, to be honest, for doing all this loveliness with it. Yeah, definitely. So this is now going to sit on here. And again, with that, you can put it on pads if you want to. You use your hot glue. I'm just going to put some tacky glue underneath, because then we're going to put some flowers on top as well. So if you find like the solid bits on there, then what you can do is you can just press it on. And obviously once we get the flowers on there as well with the hot glue, then that will make it slightly, it will cover up any gluey bits that we might have on there. But that will just hold on there. Tacky glue will hold anything. So obviously, get that on there like that, and that will just sit there like that. So I think what we'll do next, I'm going to bring in now, and I can just find it here. I want to put a little rub-on there, because we've got the rub-ons in the collection as well. So, and we're going to put it, we're just going to have it so it just sits out from under there. So if you've not used the rub-on before, basically you need to cut it out from the actual sheet. So don't get the whole sheet on and lift it up. You'll get all your rub-ons stuck on your hands and stuck on your sheets, and then you'll end up with half a rub-on. So best thing to do, cut around it like that, remove the backing sheet, pop that underneath where you want it to go, like that. So I do want it to stick out a bit, and I want to be able to make sure I get underneath this bit here as well. Just press it down with your fingers, and then you've got the little wooden stick in the rub-on set. It's in the box there with those rub-ons, and you'll see as you press it down, you'll see it's not a colour change as such, but you can see that it starts to bond to the paper. So it goes a little bit more dull, a little bit more like a very pale grey rather than being nice bright white cream. Okay, so just give that a good rub all over. And then I'm just going to take my pocket tool. What you can then do, lift it up ever so carefully, and you'll see then if any bits are not attached to there, you can put that back down and rub again. It looks to me like everything is on there because I have given it a good rub. And then when you take it off, just take your stick very carefully, do it flat, and just give it again another little burnish just over the top there in case there's anything that's not quite sat in place. But just be very careful. I'm doing minimal pressure on there and I'm just doing it flat so it's quite smooth. Okay, so now we've got our rub-on. So we've used the papers, we've used the lace, we've used the dies, we've used the rub-ons. Now we need to use, this is where we're bringing some extra bits. So what I want to do now, I want to stamp So Grateful for You. Now, So Grateful for You is from the Midnight Floral set. And I chose this because I thought it was quite nice, and also it's quite a big stamp, and that's what I wanted to go on there. I didn't want to have a little stamp. So you can see now, if we sit that there, that works quite nicely. So we're going to stamp that onto a piece of the paper from the 6x6 pad. So this is one that's got the coffee rings on and some little butterflies and lace, but if you turn it over, it's got this kind of nice, unusual effect of having this like cracked areas. It is like film actually, yeah, it's weird, like old film type thing. So we're going to cut a piece of that out, and again, we'll scuff the edges, but I'll let you know when we're doing that, Jamie, and then you can get your headphones off and you go and sit in your little quiet area for a sec while we do it. Yeah, you go and rock in your corner where you feel better. Yeah, just while we do it. No, I understand that. I understand that. It's like lots of people get that, don't they, for all kinds of reasons. It's just like, I think it's just part of us as a human being. There are things, so I think there's a bit of anxiety in it as well, isn't there? It's the not knowing, you know, if it's going to stop or not. And I think that's completely natural thing. I'm absolutely sure it is. So what we're going to do, we'll stamp this onto here. Now, that's the one thing I didn't get as well. I didn't get my little stamping block out, so I'll grab one of the little platforms. And this is a chunky stamp, so it goes on here quite nicely. And then we'll use some of our pure white opaque pigment pads. Okay, and we're going to pop that onto there like that, and it's really nice. The pigment ink pads are really nice, and because they're on like a foam, so they're quite squashy. Some of the other pads feel more like rubber, so they're a bit harder, but this is nice and soft. We like this a lot. So we're going to pop that onto there, and we'll stamp that on there like that, and then we're going to heat emboss that with some white powder. There we go, give it a good press. It's not a massive stamp, but it's nice and chunky, so obviously we want to get that white on there. Okay, and that's always a good sign. I love it when I lift it up and my paper's stuck. I think that's a really good sign. Now, you can't see it at the minute, but once we put the powder on and then we start to emboss it, and I'll just grab the back of this pearl card, because I can then put my powder on here, and then I can tip it back in. So I've just got some white embossing powder, which I'm going to pop there over the top, and then you'll be able to see how well that shows up now. So that's really nice. Let's throw that on there for now. And then we'll heat that up and perform the magic that is heat embossing, which everybody loves and is mesmerised by. And you'll see how nice and white it goes. Whoop! Nearly went out the studio then. So what I like to do when I'm embossing, I don't wiggle it as such. What I do is I put it on a point, and I can see now that it's changing. So I just follow that like the word. I follow whatever I'm stamping, because I can see them rather than shaking it. Sometimes I feel like I can miss a bit and then I have to go back in. Whereas if I do this, it's getting even heat and it's going all the way along. And there you go. And you can see we've got that now. Yeah, it's right. It's really bright, isn't it now? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring it in and compare it to size here. So I'm just going to chop a little bit more off, just to make it slightly smaller than it is. Okay, so we'll go a little bit nearer this edge, and then like that. So that's a bit better now. And again, you don't need to worry about it being uneven, because we're going to make it a bit untidy. So I'm just going to scuff it, Jamie. So let's do this. Poor Jamie, he doesn't like the sanding and he doesn't like the scuffing. And I understand that, because lots of us don't like the, you know, like fingers down the blackboard, do they? I'm a bit weird in that I can't walk on carpet with socks on. I can take my socks off and walk on carpet all day, but not with my socks on. And I'm honestly, my toes are curling at the thought of that now. So yeah, I totally get it. And my partner Wayne, he can't have like a lolly stick in his mouth, like a wooden lolly stick. So you should see him when he gets to the end of a lolly, trying to not let it touch his teeth. It's crazy. Right, so let's bring in. I'm just talking there about, you know, strange habits or things that people don't like. I was just saying I can't walk on carpet in just my socks. I said, and just telling you about it now makes my toes curl. It really does. My toes are like curled in my shoes. It's really weird. Well, yeah, I just spoke about that as well. I know Ben's like that, and my partner Wayne, much as he loves a nice lolly, and we get these white chocolate ones, you know, that we have for a treat, and he will eat one of those, and then you should see him at the end. He's trying to get the last bit off, but for it not to go on his teeth. And I'm like, why don't you just, like, take it off there at the beginning, put it in a bowl and just, like, chop it up and eat it? He's like, no, I need to eat it from the stick. But I was like, you should see him. It's honestly... No, he can't, can he? He just doesn't like it at all, Ben. He cannot even look at a picture of a lolly stick. A wooden stick. He just doesn't like it. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Right, so what we're going to do now, let's pop this in place here. So we're going to do 2 pads on the end there, where it sits there, and then we'll do a couple of pads under this bit. Probably put 3 on there maybe, just to lift that up. So we'll do 1, let's have a look, 1. We'll do 1 about there, and then 1 there. So that will be our pads. Pokey tool, there it is. I put it on my paint palette, then I could see it, and then obviously I couldn't see it. So it rolled under the water brush, so... That was a pointless exercise for me. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put this one in here now, like this, and we're going to put that nice and straight. So what we need to do now is bring in some of the paper that I've got left over. And I'm using the one sheet of the darker one here, and I've also got a piece that's a slightly different shade with some white text on. So I'm going to just switch on the hot glue gun here, and I'm going to quickly do some flowers. So I've already cut a circle here. So what I'll do is, and I've not done it with a die, I'm just doing it with my my scissors, because we're going to roll it round. So it goes a bit more like, I think they call it like a Chinese rose, rather than like an English rose. So just snip that little pointy bit off there. So what we're going to do, tweezers, which are in my bag. I had loads of tweezers out yesterday, holding little bits and bobs. And then get your tweezers and just roll it up. So it's a bit like quilling, really. I mean, you could use your quilling tool if you've got our floral quilling set. But it might not be as good as tweezers because it's a thicker piece of card. It's not like a little strip that we're concentrating on. So what you can do now is you can let that go like that, and let that unravel a little bit to wherever you want it to be. And I'm going to see if the hot glue gun has started to, let me put it on a little bit of spare paper here. If it's started to warm up yet. No, it's not ready yet. Give it another minute. What I'll do, I'll hold that in the meantime, just with my tweezers, if I can. Just so that in fact, it doesn't matter if it unravels. I can roll it back up again. It's staying where it is, actually. So we need to do 2 more of those. So, and depending on the size of the circle, I mean, the ones on the original one, if I bring that in, are kind of similar in height. They're just more rolled up, you know, more spaced out. So you can do 3 circles. If you've not got hot glue, you could use 3D glue gel, but the only thing is that would probably it might start to unravel unless you put a really big lump on and then let it just bond. Make sure all your edges are sitting in it. I've done tacky glue before. But my tweezers, and I've held it with my tweezers, but these tweezers don't have a big enough gap to get round, can you see, to fit that. If I'm doing a rose like this, but I'm folding it, then I can use my tweezers. So I'll perhaps do that on one of the shows and then give you the difference there. So let's try this now. It's coming out now, I feel. I can see, let's grab that bit of scrap there. There we go. Let's just give it a big... squeeze there. Wow, it's an almighty one, this, isn't it? Blimey. It's coming out, and we don't need tons on there, but it's a big old machine, this one. So what we're going to do is, what was the middle of the circle, we're going to put some glue on there. It's me, Jamie. I'm just a weakling. It's coming out, but it's taking a minute. It's And as long as we've got some in the middle there that we can put that flower onto, let me just pop that back under there. I nearly got the small one out and then I thought, I don't need the big one, so I'll use that. So that will hold there like that. Okay, it is holding, it's not perfect. What I could do, if I can find the small glue gun, I'll put that in. I'll just move away for a sec and we can put the, although we've no, let me see if there's a glue stick on there, because oh, really? Well, I've got one here, so that might work. This looks like a well-used one, but hey, we'll put this in. Sometimes it takes a little less in time to warm up, just because it's a small one and it's got smaller glue sticks. Let's try that. So, plug that in. We've just got one socket left there. All four are now in operation. I don't know what's in there. Oh, heat tool, Gemini, glue guns. Oh, it's all happening, isn't it? Glue stick's done a runner. That's the second thing today. That's done a runner. Let's pop that on there. That should get going. Let's pull that bit of dried glue off the end. There we go. Let's get that going in there. It's already got a stick in, so it might be all right. Stay there, stay there. Stay! Don't you dare move. So we've got that one anyway. So this will sit on here and we'll glue that. So we'll do these other two. I won't wind them up until, or roll them up, should I say, not wind them up. I won't roll them up until we've got the glue coming out. And again, you don't have to be precise with this. There we go. So what we'll do while that's happening, and while the glue is warming up, I'm going to use the little foliage set from the gardening, I'm not sure if I put this on the list actually, the gardening metal dies. If you've not got this, just grab a foliage die or some punches that punch foliage or leaves. What I've done, I've put a piece of paper, spare piece of paper, onto some cardstock, and I'm going to just pop that through the machine so that I can cut that. So let's grab that bit of tape there to just hold that. And this is where you can use your mini machine. I think we should just have enough time to get all this done. The desk looks like an absolute mess. When I got here, I organised it so well. And then you start panicking when you've got 10 minutes left. You go, oh, I need to hurry up and just throw it to one side. I clear up after. So what we're going to do is just check that's cut. And because I've put it on thicker card, I'm going to put it through a couple of times. And we don't use the whole piece anyway. I've already got one cut as well that I can use. So, well, I did have, it was on here, there it is. So I'll grab that one, we can use that one. And these are just fillers to put in once we've got our little flowers in place. So again, I stuck it onto some pearlescent card so that if you saw it at the back, it would be neat rather than being stark white. So that's just come out of there. So what we can do is just take that out of there like that. And then, so we've got our nice little panel there, and then we're going to snip into that. So we'll snip that one there. So we've got that piece, and then we'll pop another one through while we've got, while we're waiting for the glue gun. Throw those in the bin out the way. If everybody could see the rest of this table, they would be horrified. Absolutely horrified. I mean, it's not the worst mess I've made, but oh, if they can see it, can't they? Thanks for that, Jamie. Smashing, thank you. Absolutely, give them the full experience, yeah. Oh, brilliant. Oh gosh, absolutely not, no. I mean, well, yeah, I mean, you should see my desk at home. I mean, I've only got a small desk, but then next to it, I've got another desk the same size, which was meant to be like an empty desk where I would put things that I'm working on, or I'd get things out that I need to be working on and put them on there. But honestly, I just can't do that. There's no room there. And I'm like, I just need a really massive desk in a really massive room. And it's not a small room as such, because it's like a second bedroom, or it could be a lounge. So it's big, but it's just absolutely crammed floor to ceiling with stuff. So it's crazy. So we're just snipping into some of these little bits here like this. So I think we've probably got enough there that we can use. So let's check if this glue's coming out of here now. And I'm hoping it is. So if it's not, then I'm going to be really sad. Just does not want to come out. This one don't want to come out now. Oh, it is coming out, but it's a bit of a yucky colour. I think it's because it's been used for so long and it might have had coloured glue sticks in it, so I'm not sure what to do about that. Let's put the other one back on then. At least we got a bit out of that. I'll put that one on again. It won't take too long. Okay, I apologise for that. Let's roll up the flowers anyway, and then they're ready to just be glued. And what we can be doing in the meantime is I can just show you how to do the little like splattery bit on here, and then we'll be almost there then. So we roll that one up, and if you have the darker bit on the inside, then the flower looks quite nice. This one's got like lace on, so it looks quite pretty. So roll that up like that. So even if we have to put the flowers on as the last thing, we've not got much to do now. We can just, so pop those there with the leaves ready to go. And then we can add a bit of ink to the edge of the leaves. Don't worry too much about that because they will show up anyway. Just a little bit of the Fryer brown ink on the ends, like that. And then we're going to just get my water brush now, and I'm going to get a bit of white paint on the brush. So I'm going to put quite a bit of water on the palette there, on the pan should I say, so it's quite watery, and then we're going to do some little splats on here like this, so that brings in that kind of vintagey effect. Do a few more on there. The more watery you get it, the bigger drops you'll get. So again, we've got some nice big drops there. Looks like it's got a bit of snow on it, which is always a good thing for me. Okay, so we've got our little drops on there. They won't take long to dry because it's just water. And then, so we just need to get the flowers on now. I could just do with this glue gun, going a bit quicker. There we go, beautiful. Now it's coming out like a, you know, like a volcano. So now we can put this on here, and we can put one of the flowers there. Okay, and then we'll do. We've got just a few minutes left. So I'm going to pop a little bit underneath there now that I can pop I can wind that back up now in the glue, and that'll hold like that, so that flower looks better. And then this one, let's get this one rolled up as well. Like that, nice big blob of glue. And we can put that into there, like that. And then we can pop that in place. Hot glue's great, isn't it? When it comes out, it's absolutely fabulous. If it doesn't want to come out, it's not quite so great. It's not my best friend then, but I have 3 or 4 of them on the go at home, and I've had some of these glue guns for years, and you know, it depends on where I am in the room. So I go, well, that one's near the socket, I'll plug that one in. And I've got some that have a switch and some that don't. So you know, it's like, oh gosh, have I turned it off? So I usually unplug things when I finish using them, just so that I know they're not left on there. And yeah, it's just I'm a bit like that myself. I do like switching things off. And I unplug a lot of stuff as well. Yes, that's a good idea. If you've got a little fridge, it's always good to keep your little fridge on. And nothing worse than coming back to it being warm. Right, so we're going to pop a couple of the little leaves, and I did this with tacky glue, but I'm just going to chuck these in now. We've got the hot glue on there. And we're not putting like the glue all over, we're just going to leave it so it sits away from there. So we'll do one at the bottom. I've got like 1 minute left or something, Jamie. So I might just be able to get my pearl drops on there as well. And then we've got such a big mess on this desk. But it'll be all right, be fine. So let's just pull the glue strings off there. You can pull those off once you've finished and you've cleared it up. And then all we want to do now, and I'll just switch that off, is bring in from the pearl tones, pearl drops. We're going to use, I think I've used the white ones. I can't remember what's on the list. Can't remember if it's white or cream. I'll just have a look. I'm going to squirt it out. Yeah, this one. So we can put one here. So we'll just put one there. Come on. And I'm not doing big ones. Just want them to just sit there like that. We've got two there. And then we'll do one more. I think we'll do one more like here. Like that. And then we'll do one more just here in this little gap. There we go. Now, I'm not going to lift that up because if I lift it up, it might actually, they might just tip over. So, but if I bring in the original one, and there's not really much difference. I think the only difference is possibly the colours, you know, a little bit of colour here and there. You don't forget to ink the edges of your flowers. I can do that when they're dry because the blending sponge will do that. But there you go. We've got our two little panels there. There's not much of a difference. I think it's just this in the back, and it's the same paper, but just a bit smaller. It's on the smaller scale from the 6x6 pad. But there you go. We've got, I will hold that one up. That's the original one because the pearls are dry on there. Thank you very much for joining today with the Craft Along. We got there in the end using our beautiful antique lace collection from Sara, which is a divine collection. And it's always nice to do something different. But remember with this, you could make it into a journal. You could just have it as a wall plaque, or you could do this on a card and then present it in a box. Lots of ideas, and hopefully this has inspired you to have a go with your antique lace. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it and look forward to seeing you on one of our live shows very soon.